Alright, Shalom. Shalom to the hopefully elect. First and foremost, before I get started, I'm going to give all the praise and the glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rachai, Badash, which has given me the spirit and the strength to do this lesson. Also, Shalom. It's like a double honors to the elders and the apostles of Great Millstone that we will and still teach well by Hashem Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rachai Badash. Wa Shalom, wa Barak to the elect, beginning with the 144,000, which is scattered abroad in every place, redeeming the time and ready to be saved. Shalom. Alright, what I want to touch on, this evening is, is that, we're in a time where this grace period is going to come to a close, alright? And that will be when this truth is no longer accessible, alright? Because truth and grace coincide, alright? The Lord setting forth his prophets, Slakia. Well, that would be him extending grace to you people, man. Alright? Because he has set up the prophets to deliver his message, his words, okay? And you have, the 2/3 of our people rejecting, the grace of Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai. Alright, they don't want to hear his words. Alright? They don't want to hear his urgent message. Alright? So therefore, they will be destroyed. Matter of fact, let me start off with that. Book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6, it says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." You see that? So these Israelites that are of these 2/3 of our people are going to die because they did not receive or accept this knowledge that is being freely given unto them. All right. It says, "My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge." You see that? And it says, "Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee." You see? Because the time is coming where, like I said, when this truth will no longer be accessible. Alright? And that's when the Lord and Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai is going to bring forth, chaos, chaos, evil, in its full measure. All right, in its full measure. All right, that's why when you read the scripture, he talk about he's not going to spare. He said he would not spare. All right, meaning he's not going to hold back. All right, wait a second. Let me see something real quick. like this is Ezekiel chapter 7, verse. I start at verse 3. It said, "Now is the end come upon thee." That's right. Once again, these words was written for us to bring forth. All right, because the end is now come upon what? America, Babylon the Great. All right, we are in those times. It's like, so once again it says, "Now is the end come upon thee." It says, and I will send mine anger upon thee, and will judge thee according to thy ways, and will recompense upon thee all thy abominations. And mine eye shall not spare. You see, and mine eye shall not spare. Neither, it's like it, and mine eye shall not spare thee. Neither will I have pity. All right? So the Lord is not going to hold back, but he's going to pour, like it is written, he's going to pour out his wrath. All right? A full measure. Matter of fact, Salakia, what is that? Psalms. It should be Psalms. Alright, here we go. This is Psalm chapter 75, verse 8. It says, "For in the hand of Yahweh there is a cup, and the wine is red. It is full of mixture, and he poured out the same." Yeah, and he poured out the same. All right. Maybe this is not the one I'm looking for. Yeah, this is not the one I'm looking for. That's going to, the judgment that's coming upon Esau. That's not the one I'm looking for. Salaki. That's not the one I'm looking for. Alright. But, like you said right here, I'm not going to spend too much time looking for it. It said that he would not spare. Alright? Wait a second. This is Zephaniah chapter 3, verse 8. It said, "Therefore wait ye upon me, saith the Lord, until the day that I rise up to the prey. For my determination is to gather the nations, that I may assemble the kingdoms, to pour upon them my name of nation, even all my fierce anger. Whoo! Damn. That shook me when I just read that, man. I mean that's something, really to meditate on, man. See, this world ain't ready for that. You people not ready for that. Alright? You people not ready for that, man. Alright? He said, even all my fierce anger. He's not going to spare this place or these people, man, in his lifetime. Alright? And you can't, and look, we can't even imagine what he means when he said that until we see it, man. Cause we can talk and try to explain it all day. Alright? But man, when he really do it, it's not, you can't compare to the actual events. Us talking about it can't compare to that, man. But let me go back to Hosea. But you see, when that happens, then, these 2/3 are going to seek his face. Seek, his truth. Once again, Hosea 4:6, it says, my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Yep. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will also reject thee. That's right. The Israelites that come seeking the Lord, y'all not going to be accepted, man. Y'all going to be rejected through the men of the Lord. Alright? It's going to get real hard out here. Terrible. Okay? And they're going to seek refuge, because the Lord is going to allow. Hey, that's why it says in the second Ezra, then shall it be known, then they shall be known who are my chosen. People gonna know who the world. People gonna know who the Lord is truly dealing with, and they gonna flock to those men. But like it's read here, since you have rejected knowledge, I will reject thee, and that's really through him. He gonna do that through the men of the Lord. All right, the elect. Okay, you're gonna be left to fend for yourself. All right, and there will be no pity. All right, Yahweh Shemel Shah is gonna put that cold spirit upon brothers, man. Okay, but you see, that's what it's gonna take for these Israelites to bow down. These wicked Israelites to bow down. All right, they gotta be, shown the face of the Lord of Yahweh Shemel Shah has to be shown for them to bow down, man. All right. Matter of fact, look at that. Psalms. This is Psalm chapter 66, verse 3. It says, say unto the Most High, how terrible art thou in thy works? It says, through the greatness of thy power. See that? Through the greatness of thy power shall thine enemies submit themselves unto thee. Alright, and these 2/3, they're considered enemies. Alright? Like the scriptures say, through in the day of thy people shall be willing in the day of thy power. Alright? You see, that's what it's gonna take for these 2/3 to want to get in order. You know? Want to come into the fold. Alright? It says, say unto the Most High, how terrible art thou in thy works. Through the greatness of thy power shall thine enemies submit themselves unto thee. That's right. You see, so that's what it's going to take. Alright? Because right now, they're not being shown anything. You know? They think it's a game. You know? They're not expecting this type of judgment that is the said perils. They're not expecting it to come. You know, a lot of these people don't even believe that there is a God, spiritual entities, man. You know, but when he shows his power, man, then that's when they gonna want to. That's why this word, this truth, is going out the way it is through the internet, because everybody can give witness or witness to this word going out. So when the time comes, this information is, you know, for when the time comes that these prophecies that are being spoken about come to fruition, then they gonna know that, you know, this God, Yahweh Bashim Al Shai, is the one responsible. Alright? And then also they're going to that's going to be the results of them flocking unto the men of the Lord, the true prophets. Alright, it says, say unto the Most High, how terrible art thou in thy works. Through the greatness of thy power shall thine enemies submit themselves unto thee. So, yeah, that's how they're going to bow down, you know, through him bringing forth his wrath in full measure. Right? Because he hasn't brought forth his wrath fully yet. But he is in these times, man. Alright? The scriptures talk about mischief upon mischief. Imagine that. You know, matter of fact, let me get there real quick. That's in Ezekiel's 7th chapter. Ezekiel's 7th chapter is, man. Alright, Ezekiel's 7th chapter. And all this is good, man. All this is good. But I start at verse 25. It says, destruction cometh, right, And this is what we're telling these people. Okay? Destruction is at hand. You know? He said, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. Alright? Right, the times we're coming in, peace, that's going to be a thing in the past. Alright? It's going to be utter chaos, total chaos out here, man. Alright? It says, destruction cometh. Yeah, destruction cometh, and they shall seek peace. Right? And they shall seek peace, and there shall be none. That's right. It says, mischief shall come upon mischief. Let me read that again. Mischief shall come upon mischief. Alright? So it ain't gonna be no just one event going on. No, it's gonna be shit happening, you know, back to back, man. You know? You imagine that? You know, that's just like, you know, your car just broke down. Alright? And right after that, you know, right after that, hey, the car, I'm trying to come up with a good analogy, you know. Let's just say, you get sick, you get injured really bad, you know, and you can't go to work, right? And then somehow you get fired from your job. Alright, then, you know, you lose your home because you can't pay the rent. I'm just, you know, throwing some examples out there. You know, like that's like you just getting bad luck back to back. Just back to back. No breather. Alright, that's what it's not gonna be, no breather, alright? No breather, man. Alright, the place is just gonna be overwhelmed with mischiefs. You know, anguish. Ain't gonna be no breathers, man. Alright? So once again it says, mischief shall come upon mischief. That's right. And the rumor shall be upon rumor. And it says, then shall they seek a vision of the prophet. You see? And this is a future prophecy, man, that is being read right now. All right, this hasn't happened yet. This is what's about to happen. It said, then shall they seek a vision of a prophet. All right, not these deacons. All right, not these preachers or pastors. No, it said they shall seek a vision of a prophet, of the prophet. All right. It said, then, read that again. It says, mischief shall come upon mischief, and rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest. See, we are priests. All of us, we are priests. All right? It says, but the law shall perish from the priest and counsel from the ancients. That's right. That's the famine of the word, man. All right? And it tells you in Isaiah 24 how that they shall that wine that shall be a cry for wine in the streets. And wine is this wisdom and this knowledge. It's being brought forth by the prophets. All right? But you see, they're not going to get those answers that they're going to search for. All right? What's that in Romans chapter 11? He said, "What then? Israel findeth not what he seeketh for." All right? And they never going to get it. You know, they're going, even when they come and try to search, but they said with the, you know, so they're not going to get it, man. All right, it says, mischief shall come upon mischief. All right. And rumor shall be upon rumor. Then shall they seek a vision of the prophet, but the law shall perish from the priest and counsel from the ancients. That's right. You know, because you have our elders and apostles out here that doing their thing. All that's going to be cut off. All right, so it's going to be a thing in the past. All right. You see? So that's what it's going to take for them to bow down. The Lord bringing forth his wrath, man, in full measure. You see? Let me get this in Proverbs, since it came to mind. It's Proverbs, the first chapter, verse 23. It says, "Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you, and will make known my words unto you." That's right. And that's happening now. The prophets are doing it. All right? Because everybody don't know the Bible. All right? But he has set up men to truly and thoroughly break down these scriptures, man, correctly. All right? He said, "Because I have called and ye refused." All right? Now, let me read that again, verse 23. It says, "Turn you at my reproof." Right. That reproof means correction. All right? Because like I said, you have these different, you know, men opening the Bible and when they have no business, all right, teaching it. Call themselves teaching the Bible. All right, when they're not sent. You know, and the results of that is them defiling the scriptures, man, breaking them down wrong. All right, teaching the wrong doctrine. All right. So once again, it said, "Turn you at my reproof. Behold,
I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. That's right. See?
Like we say, we're here to clean up the mess or set the record straight. All right.
It says, because I have called and you refused, I have stretched out my hand. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. Right.
That's symbolic for the prophets being out here on the highways and byways, man. All right, that's him stretching forth his hand. All right.
I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel. You see? And with none of my reproof. Yeah, the correction. All right? I'm telling you, look, this is what the scriptures mean. This is what it's saying. All right? But, yeah, you disagree. You don't want to consent. All right? It says, but ye have said at not all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I also will laugh at your calamity. Right. He said, I will also laugh at your calamity. Because they laugh at us when we out there on the streets, scoff and they mock, ridicule. Alright? So he said, I will also laugh at your calamity. How is that going to happen? He's going to do that through the prophets. Alright? Through the ones that's being laughed at and mocked. Okay? He said, I also will laugh at your calamity. And I will mock when your fear cometh. I will mock when your fear cometh. Like, yeah, to your face. Because, like I said, you're going to have a lot of, these jakes coming, approaching the men of the Lord, the elect. And they're going to get laughed at and mocked in their face. They ain't going to be accepted or pacified. No, they're going to get done bad, man. Watch. Alright? It says, I also will laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. When your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me. But I will not answer. They shall seek me early. Meaning diligently. But they shall not find me. Whoo! You see? For that they hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Most High. They would none of my counsel. They despised all my reproof. That's right. So, that's what it's going to take for these 2/3 to bow down, and to truly diligently seek Yahweh Shema Shai. Because who's going to bring the fear and desolation that's going to come upon them? Yahweh Shema Shai, man. He's going to bring it. See, Lord know how to get you to act. Lord know how to get these people to act right. He's long suffering. He know how to get them to bow down, though. He know how to get them to act right. That's what he's about to do, man. I'm going to read that again. When your fear cometh as a desolation, your destruction cometh as a whirlwind. When distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. Yeah, the men of the Lord will be removed from the streets, from this internet. The ministry will be over with. All right? So yeah, these are the times that we're in, and we gotta stay focused. Those of us that are sincere, and hold on to what we got, because we almost up out of here. And with that, I want to give all the praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bashem Al-Shah, Bashem Yahweh Kodash, Wa Yahweh Bashem Al-Shah, Bashem Kakana Kakatam, Wa Baba Ba, Kwame Ashwali, Shalom.